All right, welcome to another edition of the Headline High. I'm your host, Larry H. Gardner, and the H stands for Happy Valentine's Day, actually. Valentine's Day is coming up on February 14th. Shout out to everybody, all the lovers that are celebrating it out there. First of all, I'm going to give a shout out to, there's also some people happy today because we had the swearing in today of none other than the new Housing Court Judge Cheryl Whitshire. Shout out to Cheryl Whitshire for being sworn in. For new Housing Court Judge replacing W. Scott. Best wishes to former Judge Scott of the Cuyahoga County Housing Court. But shout out to Cheryl Whitshire being the new Cuyahoga County Housing Court Judge. Elections matter, people. Elections matter. Again, we are on WNRV Nerve DJs, WNRV108.1.com. Nerve DJs, we get on your nerves. First of all, I would like to, unfortunately, that the candidate for State Rep Deanna Gore, District 19, could not be here in attendance. She had to attend a meeting pretty much to push forward. She will be here in the next month. Shout out to everybody I'm still a part of the play, The Resurrection from Death to Destiny. Shout out to Director Amanda Harris, Couture Tasha, and everybody else. I will get people in here. We will have other candidates rolling in next week. I did, however, get a candidate in here. But first of all, I would like to say, how about the Seattle Seahawks? Congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60. I think exacting their revenge on the New England Patriots, but in a different limelight, beating the living hell out of them 29 to 13. It wasn't even close. It was just like garbage time in the fourth quarter for the Patriots. That defense, the dark side. Shout out to Kenneth Walker III for winning MVP of the Super Bowl. Shout out to Sam Darnold for winning his first. Coming in from that class of 2018, that includes quarterbacks like Baker Mayfield, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, and Josh Allen. So that's pretty much about it. But it wasn't the biggest thing. The biggest thing was the halftime show, the Super Bowl halftime show, featuring none other than artist Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny had 148 million views on that Super Bowl, including the current occupant at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, Mr. Trump. I hate to say President Trump. I don't like him. He said that was the worst performance in da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But there was a lot of people loved it. There were people like Logan Paul who supported it, saying that Puerto Ricans and everything, even though I didn't understand a word and my Spanish was a little bit rusty, but the vibe, the way the choreography, also there was a real live wedding in that particular ceremony, in that particular Super Bowl halftime show. And shout out to Bad Bunny but Mr. Benito in the building for doing what he did. And for those of you who did not like it and turned into the other place, like the Turning Point USA with Kid Rock, there was like 5 million views, and 3 million views of them was not happy about it, and they couldn't stream it as well. So 148 million views to 5 million. I think Bad Bunny beat the brakes off of Clanchella. I'm just saying, Larry, why did you call it Clanchella? There was who was gonna be there? I didn't call it Clanchella. I think the white hoods that they were selling at the Turning Point thing, Carl was the reason why it was called that. So, and then we had another, godly, this dude, Trump, is getting on my nerves. All right, so a couple of days ago, after I got off the air, there was a tweet that Trump put out of a video. I guess it was a Lion King video, and it depicted former President Barack Obama and his former First Lady Michelle Obama as apes. Now, both of them are African American, and they were depicted as apes. And when you depict African American people as apes, that is a disrespectful comment. That is a racist comment. After Trump talked to Republican Senator Tim Scott, Coon, he pretty much told him to take the tweet down. Trump didn't apologize for it and said that a White House staffer put that. Now, the video depicted Biden and Hillary Clinton in a disrespectful way and everything else like that, but it showed the Obamas as apes, which really got everybody upset. So, my thing is this. What I can't stand is somebody is people making excuses for President Trump. Yeah, the White House staffer was him. He the one put it up. Stop it. You can just stop it right there. And for all those people, and I'm going to say this, stop disrespecting Michelle Obama. She is not a man. They are not a gay couple. They are a man and a woman. Stop, especially some of you brothers out here who keep saying that dumb stuff. Now, I'm going to call names next week. You keep playing with me. So... And but the reason I'm not giving you guys the time of day is because we still have the midterms going on. We still have elections going on. We still have other stuff going on and other stuff, Valentine's Day. But I got to give a shout out. There's some other things that are going on. Right now, the last Tuesday of every month, starting this last Tuesday in February, is the Frederick Douglass Rec Center, the Relax, Refresh, and Connect for the moms, and that's from Flexi Fit Fitness, 1,000 Ties, and Robin Hill and Associates, put together by 3 women. Jovan Moss, shout out to her for 1,000 Ties. Catherine Danielle, always a guest here. Flexi Fit Fitness, and also Robin Hill, Counselor Robin Hill and Associates for putting this together, collabing for the moms and stuff like that. So shout out to that. Also, this Thursday, Congresswoman Shontel Brown will be giving out a town hall. Details will be on my page. But the thing about it is like I'm sick and tired of. How can I put it to you like this? I am tired of the narrative about Michelle Obama being a woman, being a man. So. I'm sick of that. Y'all crazy. Y'all out of your dang minds. You know, it's disgusting and things of that nature. So Miss Lex is in the building. So I'm going to ask Miss Lexis before we go into our guest, before we talk to him about his candidacy for judge.
Happy belated,
first of all.
Thank you.
So what do you think about the halftime show? Bad Bunny. We ain't talking about Clanchella.
Well, we know what the BAD stands for.
What the bad stands for?
A bad performance.
You don't like Bad Bunny's performance?
I mean, it's bad enough you don't know what he's saying. And then it's almost like the Matrix Sean Paul or what is his name? Daddy Yankee.
Daddy Yankee.
You
not hip to Daddy Yankee?
Or no. Paul. No. What? I know you want me. What is his name? The Puerto Rican rapper. What is his name?
That's a good one.
Not Paul. Pitbull. Yeah, it's kind of
Pitbull a legend now.
Right.
There's no damn.
There's no Pitbull slander around.
No. Listen. Don't jump on the gun. I'm saying. He's giving like a Pitbull meets Matrix. That's what Bad Bunny is giving. Like he's trying to be Pitbull in a dark form, and it's not working.
Now, the one thing I did see, if it is true, they said Bad Bunny was bagging groceries 10 years ago.
Yeah.
To bagging 10 groceries 10 years ago to do what he's doing now is epic.
To performing on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I got to give Bad Bunny mad props for that, man.
Yeah, props to Bad Bunny for that. Yeah. Especially with a name like that. So did you watch Clanchella, a.k.a. Turning Point, with Kid Rock?
Nobody watched that, Larry. Nobody watched that but you.
I didn't watch it.
You wanted to secretly watch it on the live.
Yeah, right.
They was probably about to beat you up at the Super Bowl party, so you stuck to the script.
Hey, I did not want to watch that. You are out of your mind, T-Rex. You are somewhere over Mars. But I'm glad that my pick for the Super Bowl won in Seattle. But there's another thing that happened, and I'm going to say this. Melania came out. Speaking of bad performances, Melania, the documentary.
I heard it was good.
In what world?
You just a Trump hater, but I heard it's good, man. His wife ain't got nothing to do with what she got going on. She ain't signed up for all that. She was in her country, minding her business. She had to do what she had to do. She got legal. She got legal. Now she on her own. You sound like you hating, Larry.
I'm telling the truth.
All right, get off your phone, cuz.
All right, so here's the thing. No, I'm going to read the reviews about Melania.
Okay, let's hear it.
IndieWire. If syphilis was a movie,
Oh my goodness.
I can't understand a freaking word she says. Variety. Should be considered a war crime. Hollywood Reporter. Like being taken hostage by the Taliban. New York Times. Watching Melania's journey from Slovenian prostitute to first lady is like walking barefoot in a field of Legos while you have explosive diarrhea. RogerEbert.com. And last from Screen Magazine, if Epstein didn't kill himself after watching this, he probably would have.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
That's the reviews for Melania. If you want to watch a real first lady documentary, watch Becoming with Michelle Obama on Netflix. That's all I got to say about that. All right, so our guest today, he's running for judge, and thank you for coming in. And he was at the swearing in. Please welcome Mr. Daryl Dennie to the show, to the program. And I apologize. We had some theme music, but we couldn't get it all up in time. But thank you for coming in on such short notice. I'm talking about real short, like 15 minutes short. How you doing, sir?
Doing well, thank you.
That's good. So what judicial seat are you running for?
I'm running in the seat currently occupied by the Honorable Nancy First, who's been a longtime judge in our county, and she will be retiring at the end of this year.
Okay.
So it's an open seat.
It's an open seat. So what made you run for judge?
Well, you look back over my career and all the things I've done, the different areas I've practiced. I was a prosecutor when I started, was in a private practice as both a private practice in the firm as well as on my own. Currently, I am a senior lead attorney in the Office of the Public Defender. So I've touched both sides of the courtroom, both criminal, both civil, helped served and represented a lot of different people and a lot of different causes of action. And I just felt it was a natural progression for my career.
So what is harder? Is it criminal or civil as far as being an attorney?
I don't think one's harder than the other. I think it's a different level of preparation, right? If you're representing someone in a capital murder case, that's hard. That's stressful. And if you're trying to, win a big wrongful death med mal case, that's also stressful as well. So it's a different level of preparation, a different level of what you need to prove and what you need to show. And one's about a lot of money, one's about liberty and life, So I think the level of stress is high both ways. But civil is about money and criminal is about life and liberty.
So how long have you been studying law for?
Well, went to law school, 3 years of law school, 4 years of undergrad, but I've been practicing 28 years.
Okay. You've been practicing 28 years. And what's the biggest thing about practicing law takeaway that you get? As far as, the reward of practicing law for such a long time?
For me, it's being able to do what my client needed done. Anytime someone can put their faith in you to help them through a crisis, a legal issue, and you can accomplish that, that's what I look to do, and that's what I love.
Okay. So the thing about it is you've been practicing law for 28 years. What is the biggest case that you ever had?
Biggest case?
Yes.
Oh, boy. It could be any one of the case where I had to defend somebody on murder, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Because, that carries a life tale. You lose, they go away for life.
Right. So you had to defend somebody that was actually accused of murder, correct?
Multiple times, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same
Can we
person.
get the ratio on that?
I know. I don't keep stats, but no.
He's a defense attorney, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
Those come across my table now and have since
My question is when you be dealing with, when you hear all this bad stuff, you got to deal with these people. How do you unwind? Who do you talk to make you cope with your day?
That's a great question. Generally, other attorneys, really. For years we've convened at the office when I was in private practice, and still at the office now. We'll sit and bounce things off each other, talk about what happened in a trial, testimony that happened, a line of questioning, a motion you argue. We always bounce these things off of each other. But for another reason, just to make sure that we feel that we were doing the right thing and did the right thing that day at that moment. Sometimes you second guess yourself, especially if things don't go your way, you really second guess yourself. So it's always good to have the support of your peers to say, hey, no, you couldn't do anything about that. You couldn't do anything with that. I mean, it is what it is. It's a common phrase that we use. It is what it is.
So do you see a case that you like, I can't win this? Like a case that comes up, you like, and you look at the discovery and you look at the evidence and you look at everything and it's like, I can't win this or I can't take it. So was there anything that you ever refused in your 28 years?
I don't believe I've ever refused a case, but I've had consultations with prospective clients where I had to tell them, I don't think I can help you. I mean, plain and simple.
Right.
And then, I've been on cases where I didn't know how bad it was until I got into it, and now I'm telling the client we have a situation.
When you recuse yourself, is that the correct term? Recuse?
It can be.
Is that public records?
What do you mean?
Like say if say like a judge or attorney recused themselves for so many trials, is that public? Is that public records?
For the judge, yes, because recusal is mainly for a judge.
Okay,
that's when the judge
Recusals for a judge.
that's when they decide not to preside over a particular case.
All right.
And then just gets reassigned to another judge. So yeah, there should be a record of that.
All right.
Usually recusals happen for judges if they know the person that's involved or both parties are one, correct?
Correct. It's some kind of connection that they should not have to the case, and therefore they feel it's best if they step aside.
So if that was to happen to the attorney would just automatically decide, I can't take this case.
Well, if we have that would be a conflict of interest for us.
Okay.
Conflict of interest.
Right.
We up here learning.
Is there any case that you felt like you were just obsessed with? Like, I'm almost there. I gotta crack this, or it really consumed a lot of your time?
There probably is. I can't tell you which one that was off the top of my head, but I know there's some cases where you get really invested. You really want to help. You really want to do something good for this client. You believe in this client, of course, but we can't change witnesses and facts and things of that nature. But you just feel like this client's telling you the real deal. He's telling you the truth, and you really want to, solve this issue for him.
All right. So what is making you run for judge now after 28 years of practicing law?
Well, I actually tried to run after 26 years and was unsuccessful, so I'm running for the second time.
So
Persistence.
Persistence. I remember that was back in 2024.
Correct.
We all lost that night. God.
Larry, funny.
I'm being serious. Keep playing. And like I am not trying. Listen, we all up for deportation if the skin color right. But just saying that. So how do you think that you lost in 2024? How confident are you going to win this election?
Well, I mean, I'm working harder than the prior run. Of course, I know more now about the process than I did in 2024. Of course, running in 2024 has given me the benefit of building a lot of great relationships, which are helping me now through this process. So, I feel good about the run. And, of course, I still need people's support. I'm looking for support every day, not taking anything for granted. But, yeah, I want to put the work in and get this done.
So what are you learning now that you didn't know in 2024 about campaigning?
My biggest thing is just being more visible, showing up, right? Get to the events, be amongst the people, be amongst the public, and meeting people, right? Building these relationships that you need to get the support you need, right?
Exactly.
You want to be. I mean, it's a public service job. You want to be amongst the public.
So, all right. So the thing about it is like we had, other things happen, and we had this thing that happened with. Did you see the picture of the Obamas portrayed as monkeys?
I did.
Okay. How did it make you feel as an African American man? Because I know I was upset.
Well, it's just outrageous. When you have the leader of our country putting this type of stuff out about other leaders of our country for the world to see, I think it's just outrageous, disrespectful. I mean, I can go on and on and on about just how bad and just out of place that was.
That's what's up. Lex, did you have something to say?
Yes, I am interested to know. So you have been in service for 28 years, and I know you probably know and have worked with a lot of judges.
Yeah.
Now you want to move up, you want to be in this seat.
Yes.
And you look like you're definitely fit for it.
Thank you.
However, how do you plan on dealing with the mental subjectivity of the positioning that comes with being a judge?
I mean, there may be a learning curve when it comes to that, because you're now, and if you're the judge, you are in a different position than the attorneys, right? And, you know, now that I've been running and am still running, I now sometimes sit in the courtroom watching the judges and think about what would I do in this situation.
Right, like
listening to what's being
hot
put.
seat.
Yeah,
Right.
because I mean,
Yeah.
I do accept and acknowledge that. I mean, the tough decisions have to be made, and I sit there and listen. I just sit in on a hearing or two and just listen. Like, okay, what would I do here? Would I have done that? It's hard to say, but you start putting yourself in the position of the judges in that room and say, how would I have done that? And so it gets you thinking, you know, because, you know, decisions have to be made on a lot of different things over the course of a day. A lot of different things come to that courtroom, and, you know, from just little hearings, little motion hearings, bond hearings, to actual, you know, sentences, you know. And so, yeah, no, I've been really thinking about some of the decisions that are made by the judges, and what, if anything, would I have done differently.
So this seat is a county seat, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And that means that at the county level, you can send people to prison, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So you're dealing with more you're not dealing with misdemeanors. You're pretty much dealing you're in felony court.
This is your felony court, correct. From capital murder down to felony 5 theft, right? Which is the lowest level of felony there is. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So how would you do your courtroom if you see somebody that, you know, first time felon, they didn't mean to do it, drug charge or whatever, you know, do you feel like that they should have to pay some type of bail to be released, or would you handle that?
No. I mean, you got a bond commissioner who's going to put out recommendations for bond at the arraignment level. I don't know if a lot of people realize that, but there's a bond commission. They have recommendations for what the bond should be. But generally speaking, nowadays, if you're nonviolent, you're looking at a personal bond for the most part, if it's a low-level felony.
Okay.
And that's just a signature, and you're walking out the door.
Like a felony 5 or something?
Oh,
like
for
that?
sure.
Okay.
The personal bond, for sure.
Okay, so they don't have to. They're not going to suffer, as far as, because people can miss work, or they're trying to do something, they can get let go. You know, they're already, you know, stressed enough, because 9 times out of 10, if there's a felony, you're behind bars until you go to your court date, unless they make bond.
Yeah,
or
sometimes.
So it is what it is. So, you know, or the judge give them a bond or whatever, personal bond, like yourself. So
Right.
So how many African American judges are down in Cuyahoga County Court? Do you know?
Oh boy, let me see. Without saying the names, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 6 are sitting right now, if I'm not mistaken.
And how many seats do the judges have? How many?
It's 34 common police judges.
So 34 common police judges, and only 6 of them are African American?
That is correct.
Oh, wow.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the right number. 6.
Man, that's not even more. That's less than half. So
By far, yeah.
So do you think we need more African American judges sitting in those seats?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. So the thing about it is, you're running now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a primary, or are you going straight to November?
I mean, no, I don't have a primary opponent, so I'm preparing for the general. For sure.
Okay, general. So how can people donate to your campaign and volunteer to march with you? Because we know the parades and stuff are coming up. How many people? So what is your campaign website information, contact information?
Okay, so no website up yet. Active on social media. I have a QR code on social media, a link that you can hit on social media. In terms of contact information, obviously I can be reached via email at Daryl Dennie, number 4 judge @gmail.com. If you got questions for me, you can feel free to call me. I got a cell number 216-859-8590. If I don't answer, please leave me a message. I'll call you back.
Okay. That's number 216.
859-8590.
Okay. And then, of course, you're going to do some stuff with us.
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Yeah,
So he's going to have his ass going to be on, his campaign ad going to be on here soon enough. We just working out the details.
That's right.
But, so for anybody that is running right now or has ran and experienced a loss that you have and you're running again, what's your advice for them?
Keep going. Don't stop. Keep going. I had to, hear that advice myself and subscribe to it, and it's working well for me now. Yeah, keep going. Stay out there. Don't stop.
Okay, that's what's up. So keep going. Don't stop. I understand that it is a price to pay. I understand that you're doing a lot. Also, have you been endorsed by the Democratic Party?
Yes, endorsement meeting was this past Saturday the 7th, and I am the endorsed Democrat in my race.
All right, congratulations. That's what's up. So how do you feel about that endorsement?
Honored. Yes, honored and grateful. Absolutely.
Okay. So, Alexis, you have anything to ask him?
Do you feel more confident this time around? And if so, what's going on in the campaign and with your engagement with the community and make you feel more confident that you may win this time versus last time?
Well, like I said, second time around, it puts you you have a different perspective first and foremost. And so you always think about how you lost, what more could you have done, and so you start doing more of what you didn't do the time before. And so with me, I'm trying to make sure I get out there as much as I can, get to as many events as I can, meet as many people as I can, because when you're talking about running for office or running for anything, people have to know you. They have to know you, and they can't know you if they don't see you. So you got to get out there. So that's some of the advice I received, and I'm taking it to heart, man. So I try to go everywhere I can and meet as many people as I can and tell my story whenever I can, and just increase that level of support.
All right. So speaking of story, when we come back, we're going to talk about I'm about to say Judge Dennie, Daryl Dennie's background, and I'm probably speaking that into existence right now when we come back on break on the headline on Nerve DJs, WNRV 108.1.com. Grateful to have you here, and for everybody else out there. It's a little bit warmer than it was last week, but there's still some snowdrifts, so be careful. But when we return, we will talk about Mr. Dennie's background and how did he get to this point. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Cleveland needs, wants, and has been waiting for. Johnny Mac and DJ Ellery present The Experience, Cleveland's first annual R&B hip-hop gala. We moved the date to Saturday, March 14th at the OR Venue Cleve, 4700 Lakeside Avenue. Red carpet photo shoot at 7 p.m. Event ends at 1 a.m. 30 and over. Formal attire is mandatory. Tickets $50 for single, $90 for couples. Early ticket purchase is strongly suggested. Tickets also available at the following ticket outlets: Diamond Cuts Barbershop, 5139 Superior Ave. Fashions by Fowler, 13226 Shaker Square. Mr. Albert's Men's World, 618 Prospect Ave. Call DJ Ellery at 216-254-5909 or Shawnee Mac at 216-235-4296 for more information. Check it out, Cleveland. We changing the game with this formal wear event. Early ticket exclusive table purchase is mandatory and strongly suggested.
This is WNRV 108.1.
Looking to grow or expand your business?
Yo, bro, you read my mind.
Well, we have the perfect solution for you. Your business needs are important, and so is your advertising. Here at WNRV Power 108.1, we have marketing solutions for all your business needs and affordable pricing to keep you in the green. Give us a call today at 216-702-0688. That's 216-702-0688. Or email us at WNRVPower1081@gmail.com today.
Wagwan, this is Miss BBC, your reggae woman. Make sure you tune into the Headline Eye on WNRV 108.1.
What do you get when you take two witty nerds and two of the best pair of hands since Technique's 1200s? Or better yet, grandma's fried chicken, macaroni and cheese and greens on Sunday after church. Hallelujah! Then for dessert, the dopest blend of classic R&B and hip-hop joints all whipped up in one big sexy mixing bowl. You know what you get? The Party and Bull Show. That's right. Heard 7 days a week. Make sure you check your station for days and times. It ain't what you used to, and it's better than what you thought. It's the most unprepared show on the planet. You never know what we gonna say or who's gonna stop by. It's the Party and Bull Show with Dave Tolliver, Tiffany Nicole, DJ Cochise, and DJ Deuce, aka the Final Four. Turn it up in the whip, turn it up loud on Saturday while you cleaning. We the best, and I ain't talking about DJ Khaled. We up and we on. Check your stations for days and times. Party and Bull-ish, cause everybody loves a party, and Bull-ish ain't always bad. Holla, yeah man.
Wagwan, this is Miss BBC, your reggae woman. Make sure you tune into the Headline Eye on WNRV.
Yeah. Feature me, millionaire. Here is the wife of New York Giants quarterback Russell Wilson. Funny thing, the last quarterback that won the Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks was her husband, Russell Wilson. So, nice trivia, so if you figure that out. But before we get back to Daryl Dennie, I just like to bring up something which is disturbing me. I've heard this is the second time that a Lyft driver was killed near Buckeye and on the east side of Cleveland. So the thing about it is, I'm going to say this. Would you please stop with this crap? I am mad right now. I need Lyft. You know, I don't drive. So stop with the BS, man. Control yourselves. And it's disgusting and disturbed as I am about these killings. They're just trying to make a living. Y'all shooting people for what reason? Sport? This ain't Grand Theft Auto. This is real life, for real. All right. That's enough on my chest. Shout out to everybody that's praying for, that's donating to the guys GoFundMe for the Lyft driver that was recently killed. So we have judicial candidate for the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas, Mr. Daryl Dennie. And interesting enough, you're not from Cleveland. You're from Cincinnati, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so what made you come up here? What made you come up to Cleveland, the biggest city?
Well, my wife. Yeah, she got placed here when I was in law school. Her company placed her here. And when I graduated, I was here a week later.
I know that's right.
So what school you graduate from?
Chase Law at the Northern Kentucky University.
Okay. So you was in Kentucky?
Well, it's right across the bridge.
Right, yeah, exactly. You know, a lot of people like Cincinnati, if you hop across the bridge, hop, skip, and jump, you going to Kentucky. I know that being a UC student.
Yeah, that's right.
And also get the moonshine there, but that's another story. Shout out to Everclear. But sorry about that. But so when you graduated law school, you pretty much, your wife, how long you and your wife been married?
27 years.
Oh, black love in the building. So what you gonna do for Valentine's Day?
I don't know. That's coming up. I got to come up with something quick, right?
Right. During this campaign, and she's
right.
And she's fully behind you running again.
100%. 100%. Right. Usually, you see me, you'll see her.
Okay. So, what is your? What about your children?
3 children. 2 girls, 1 son. My son is still at home. The girls are off to higher education. So. Okay.
You want to shout them out?
Shout out to the kids.
All right.
Layton, London, and Trey.
That's what's up. So how do they feel about you running?
They're excited, actually. I like to think I make them proud. I mean, obviously, I do things to make my family proud. But no, they were very supportive. In fact, in 24, my oldest daughter, she lives away, so she came home the last weekend of early voting. You know, we had the Souls to the Polls. I don't know if you guys remember that. It was,
Yeah.
it was a beautiful Sunday, that last day early in 24.
Yeah, 24.
And they were out. I voted with my two daughters together. We all voted that day. That's the day I voted, that last Sunday. And we took pictures and, stood in that long line. I don't know if you remember if you ever went by there that day.
I always go down the Souls to the Polls, and it's
Yeah.
usually that long, especially during the presidential election.
Yeah, that line went down to Chester and across the highway over to Cleveland State for that election on that Sunday. But yeah, we voted together, and of course we celebrated my son's birthday that same day. Went out to dinner afterwards. But yeah, no, they were all in, marching the parades with me. So yeah, very supportive, and very grateful.
Very grateful. Yeah, you got a question, T-Rex?
Huh?
Yeah, I was asking T-Rex. You got a question over there, sir?
A question. I want to give me one of your favorite top attorney-based shows and top attorney-based movies. One of your favorites.
Oh, top attorney-based shows. Now, you're gonna think this is crazy. I don't watch a lot of attorney-based shows.
That makes sense because that's why you're the
real
man.
It's real life stuff. But no, what I find myself watching by default because my wife loves it is Law and Order. She loves.
I knew you was gonna say that.
Yeah, she watches it all the time. It's on like 3 and 4 networks at a time every day.
Yeah.
And so every time I come in the room, she's watching. I might find myself watching 3 episodes without realizing it.
So how do you feel about The Wire?
The Wire?
Yes.
That was an outstanding show, man.
Okay.
I remember watching that, the whole series of that. That was really good. The first and second season, actually.
Okay.
Good show. Like that a lot, But I watch a lot of medical shows, believe it or not.
Say less. Want to do the opposite.
Yeah.
You already know it. I think that's part genius. You know the law. Can't nobody, really tell you nothing.
Right, exactly.
I think that's dope. But yeah, man, power to you.
Yeah, but law movies, I don't know what the movies. I had to really think about that. Now, what's the movie I found myself watching for maybe the 10th time most recently was the one with Jamie Foxx, Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah.
When he was the DA.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen that quite a few times.
I actually love the symmetry of, the revenge factor, but also taking it too far. How far is too far?
Yeah.
And of course, there's a lot of negotiation when dealing with time and everything else like that. So, how do you actually feel about just in general the crime rate that's going on in the city? I just talked about the 2 Lyft drivers being murdered. How do you feel about the crime rate going on in the city of Cleveland? The state of this, the county of Cuyahoga in general.
Yeah, I'll be careful with this comment, but violent crime is awful, man. And it's in a lot of ways, I don't know where the numbers are in terms of is there more or less than last year or 10 years ago? It's hard to say, but one thing we have to notice is that it's happening so frequently, and we're hearing about it so frequently. It seems more frequent now than years past, and I don't know if that we're just paying more attention to it. Hard to say, but no, it's awful. I mean, a lot of our offenders now are young. Most of them are children. Because they're under 18, a lot of violent crime is coming from that age bracket, 15 to 19, and you got a child that's usually the victim, so that person's gone, their family's grieving, the parents of these young boys are grieving because now they're looking at life sentences. So in any given matter, you could have 1 deceased young black male, and 3 or 4 or 5 black male defendants are doing life in prison. So that's 5 or 6 black males off the street for 1 incident.
Right.
And that's the way it looks some days to me when I see, because usually it's the co-defendant, so at least 2, maybe 3 on the defense side, and of course the decedent, right, the person who was killed. So in a given case, you got minimum 2 that are gone, and possibly 3 or 4 more. So. This manner of solving disputes has to stop.
Right.
You got to figure out a way to resolve our disputes better. It's awful right now.
I understand that. The thing about it is a lot of people are saying, well, Mayor Bibb should do this and we should have more police on the street, but sometimes it's just self-control pretty much. And I think because of the current occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue that we have lost that self-control. And there's a lot of people like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And you see a lot of violent stuff that happens. So, it's not who you elect, it's how you control yourself, period,
Yes.
point blank. How, as a judicial candidate, how do you think mental illness takes effect in what's going on right now in this world?
Well, first and foremost, it's real. It's a real thing. I like the fact that, of course, Cuyahoga County Common Police Court does have a mental health docket. I don't personally work on it, but I make regular referrals to it. Yeah, because we have the court psychiatric clinic. We get these guys diagnosed. We have people coming into the building with mental illness who have not had that addressed in the court system. And so we got to make these referrals, get these guys into the clinic so that they can have documentation in the court records that they have a mental health problem, so they can be dealt with on that docket and get those services. But yeah, mental health is very real, and we have to address it and be able to acknowledge it and see it so that we can get these people the help they need.
Okay. So, a fun fact. Since are you from Cincinnati, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, that's where I grew up. That's my school. My school age years are in Cincinnati. Yes.
Okay. So are you a Browns fan or are you a Bengals fan?
Both.
Oh, wow. Okay.
100%.
Okay, so if they play each other, who you leaning towards?
Well, let me say this. Most recently, I'm cheering for both. I can't lose, right? so I'm happy when both of them make a good play either way. But I've liked the Browns for years, man. I go back to the Cardiac Kids with the Browns. I like that team, and I always liked some of the players the Browns had. So it wasn't, a big change for me to come up here and be a Browns fan.
Okay.
But usually though, when the Browns and Bengals play for years, it's been the Bengals. But I like the Browns too. So
hey, that's what's up. Can't go wrong with Joe Burrow. Can't go wrong with Shador.
No, not at all.
Right, so hopefully one of them wins the Super Bowl before my lifetime is over with.
Look, I hate to say this, but I think the Bengals might get there before the Browns, but you never know. Maybe Shador.
They went.
Maybe
They got there against the Rams, and then the Rams beat them. I think it was Sam Darnold's last game. I think he just threw Joe Burrow around. I'm like,
no, that was Matt Stafford.
Yeah,
man.
Matt Stafford.
That was Matt Stafford. That line defensive lineman, the big guy.
Yeah, Darnold and Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Man. And so we had a good team, but we just fell short. Remember, we went twice in the '80s, and
right,
lost to San Fran twice.
Montana is
right.
I think they hate Montana down in Cincinnati. Right. I hate that
right.
show.
So those two losses, but we had made a good showing. It wasn't a blowout. Both games were within 7 points.
Right, exactly.
And it was exciting seasons. But I like the Browns. I mean, right now the Browns changed coaches. Now they lose the defensive coordinator. And you got one of the best defenses in football. I mean.
Shout out to Jim Schwartz. And unfortunately, David Njoku, after 9 years here, is saying that he's going to find somewhere else to play after being a free agent. So the Chief is about to leave us, and I am about to be hurt. Just breaking news from that front. So.
And it didn't have to be a situation where you're doing such a huge rebuild. I mean, you had a lot of pieces in place.
Right.
So this is a major setback.
It's a setback, but we'll come back. I just don't like. If you was about to say you a Steelers fan, I was about to roast you.
No, sir.
But
we equally hate the Steelers.
Okay, good. That's what's up. All right. So, shout out to Jay Price. Just back to, if you were not an attorney, what was your other passion? What would you be doing?
Oh boy, I don't know for sure. Let me start with that, because coming out of high school, I was in a lot of technical courses. I was put on the engineering track coming out of high school. That was the big thing when I came out of high school. The testing was showing. Following to be an engineer, everybody wanted to be an engineer, right? And I was an engineering major, for a couple of years. But I know I wanted to be an attorney much longer than I ever wanted to be anything else, and that goes back to probably middle school. So when I got to undergrad, started doing engineering stuff, realizing that math is not my thing. I said, let me get out of this thing before I, ruin my GPA and get back on the path of getting into law school. And that's what I did after my sophomore year, or during my sophomore year. And I graduated from The Ohio State University in 4 years, and then moved on to go to law school.
Were your parents attorneys?
No, I'm the son of a school teacher, elementary school teacher, single parent.
Oh, wow. So.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to your mom. What did she say when you wanted to go into law school?
No, she was all for it. She was very, very excited. Obviously, after I graduated and passed the bar, that was probably the biggest day. I know she was proud. Love my mom to death. We lost her 20 years ago now. It'll be 20 years in December. Yeah.
My condolences.
But, she did her thing, man. I mean, me and my brother and sister all went to college, and
How many brothers and sisters you got?
One each. I'm the youngest of three.
Okay. So, Ms. Lessons, you got something to ask him?
Yes. So what made you want to take up law? Do you feel like you just had a bunch of majors in front of you and you're like, hurry up and pick one? I think that would be the most suitable. Or were you already in your mind thinking abstractly like, hey, I need to do something where I can argue and defend something?
It wasn't so much the arguing. It was the old school legal TV shows, man, like Perry Mason and stuff, because he's always questioning people. I'm serious. Perry Mason was a cold-blooded legal show back in the 70s. And then, the notion that I wanted to do something for people, that combination of things like, yeah, I want to do that, and that's where it started when I was young. I mean, seriously, I was probably, 10 years old when I thought it was interesting. It got more interesting when I got into middle school. I remember a middle school teacher laughing at me when I told them that's what I wanted to do. I would like to say, look at me now, but, I don't know where he is, but yeah. But
I can find him and rub it in.
Right, yeah. And so, like I said, I moved on and, changed my majors, focused on different parts of education. But yeah, it came right back to the law. This is where I need to be. I feel this is definitely where I need to be.
Do you feel like practicing law is more of a talent or a skill, or do you think it's a level entry kind of position? What would you say?
It's definitely, you develop a level of skill, especially if you do trial work, because there's a level of skill in trial work. There's a level of technique in trial work.
So not just any smart person who's willing to go to school could be a lawyer. Like you feel like you have to be called to do something like that?
No, you can be. But,
okay.
But there's different types of lawyers. There's lawyers that don't go to court. There's lawyers that only write. They just write stuff. Draft documents.
Okay.
There's lawyers that do that, and there's lawyers that don't ever come to the courthouse. So there's so many different things you can do in the field of law. I just happen to be a trial attorney, and I happen to have done civil litigation and criminal defense work and prosecute. So I've always liked the courtroom aspect of law.
Okay. So what are common characteristics of lawyers?
Oh, common probably. I think most of us like to talk a little bit,
Okay. Gift of gab.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have something to say.
Okay.
Some say more than most, but I think all of us like to talk a little bit. I think a lot of us are personable people, especially in the trial side. You really can relate to a lot of different people, which helps you with jury selection and stuff like that. But then I think overall we're intelligent people, right? I mean, you got to learn a lot. The law school is hard.
Right.
You can read a lot. You got to draft stuff. The exams are long. It's a test. I mean, it's really a test to get through law school. It's a test of endurance, I think, for sure. The amount of work you have to do, especially first year, then second year is a little easier, third year is a little more easy than that. But yeah, no, you got to be intelligent and hardworking and determined because, there's some ups and downs when you're trying to get through law school. And then you got to take the bar exam. You study months for that. And you got to learn all the law in the state of Ohio, then go regurgitate this on the test for over a course of 2.5 days. Yeah.
Yikes.
They don't give it away.
Right, exactly.
You got to fight for it.
Right. You put the work in, So, so when you get there, it's like, wow. Yeah.
So we are in Black History Month.
Yes, sir.
And you being an African-American attorney, when you got into this profession, how difficult was it for you to study, be in law school and study, and how many attorneys that looked like you were studying with you?
At my law school, in my class?
Yes.
There were very few of us. I know there was one. So let me start like this. I went to Chase Law School because they had a component of a night program and a day program, similar to Cleveland State Law School, right? I was working for Hamilton County Juvenile Court, right? So the first job I had out of undergrad was working for the juvenile court. I was working in the clerk's office there, processing, delinquency complaints, which are the same as criminal complaints, but it was for juveniles. And then I applied to law school. So, and at first I was going to work and go to school, which I did for a year. And so I worked in the morning and then went to class from 6 to 9 at night, 3 days a week.
Okay.
You know, so in that class, I know there were at least 5 black males, and I can't remember how many females. I want to say maybe 4 or 5 females in our class. Then I switched over to the day program, and in that group, I don't think we had more than 4 black males, and I can't remember more than 3 females in the day program. And yeah, that's the best one. I would have to go look at the picture. Our pictures are up in the law schools. I would have to go look at that picture and say, okay, I was wrong. It was 10 of us, you know. Okay. But it wasn't that many.
So 10 out of how many people that were aspiring attorneys in law school?
Oh, boy. Then the general class, it had to be at least 100 of us, I think. That's me guesstimating because I didn't count, but it was a, big room. It's probably 100 people or so. And it started whittling it down, but, it was a room full of us for sure. At least 50. Okay. If not more. But I think it's close to 100 in that first year class.
So an African American aspiring attorney, no matter what kind of law, whether it be criminal or civil, what would you tell a young law school student who is African American, whether it be man or woman? What would you tell them for the first starting out?
First starting out, number one is just give everything you have into that first year. First semester, first year, just give everything you have to learn as much as you can, to get the best possible grades you can, because that will determine part of your path, right? It's not the end all to be all, but that opens up so many other opportunities for you if you can get yourself a nice solid GPA foundation in that first year. Okay. And that's just based on our experience with us at Chase. One problem we had at Chase is we were competing with UC Law School for internships, and things like that. And so, it was very competitive to, do those internships with firms and clerk with firms in the summertime. And so, yeah, and of course, the African-American population was slighted the most, obviously. Right. So it was competitive. And, the GPA would get you at the top of that pool. And so that's the way things work. Now, I don't know what people are doing now and how that all looks anymore. I don't even pay attention to it. Because like I said, I came out, I joined the prosecutor's office. I got hired by Stephanie Tubbs-Jones.
Shout out to Stephanie Tubbs-Jones.
That's right.
Rest in peace, rest in power.
And that gave me my training in trial. That gave me my trial training that I needed, jury trial training. And then I went out on my own, and you're on your own, you work and you hustle and you do what you have to do.
You had to get clients.
That's right. That's right.
What was the best way of you getting clients? Was it word of mouth, advertising? What was it?
It was a combination of referrals. It was a combination of representing other people with some of the court-appointed work I was doing, and then you start getting callbacks, or you got to get this guy. He helped me, and then you just start growing slowly that way.
How confident were you in pricing? Like when you finally start like charging?
That's a very good question because I think in some respects I probably undercharged. Okay. I don't think I would never say I overcharged anybody, but I know I definitely undercharged some people because there were some cases I worked a long time on for a little to nothing. So. It's always, extracting a fee is a tough thing to do, but that's a whole nother conversation.
No, that's that. I think that running your own business as an African American man, especially in the legal profession, is very much strenuous, just like media and things of that nature, and continuing with the DEI hires and things of that nature, that actually happens. So before we get out of here, I appreciate you coming in at, like I said, short note. Like I'm like pretty much this is the story. I met that. Shout out to Deanna Gore. She had to go to a Democratic meeting. She had to cancel at the last minute. So I go down there for the swearing in of new housing court judge Cheryl Wilshire, and of course I'm running to Daryl. Of course, always pleasant man to be around, and. I asked him, hey, I got a cancellation. You want to come out tonight and talk about your candidacy? And he's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, oh, it's right up the street. He was out of the courthouse. So like, I literally came from the courthouse to here, and he's literally come from the courthouse to here. So I thank you very much for, doing this with me. And we will bring you back talking about your campaign because we got to put you in that seat, brother.
Yeah.
Yes, we
got to
Thank
put you in that. We got to put you in that.
You are very confident and knowledgeable.
Thank you.
And you just gonna be sitting there like, what am I gonna do with you, young man?
Thank y'all so much for having me. I mean, you're very welcome, but no, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No problem. So, and this is Black History Month. So, all right. So, how can people contact you about your candidacy, about volunteering for your donations to your campaign, volunteering for your campaign, wearing one of your T-shirts out in these parades, things of that nature?
Yeah.
Just give it to them again.
Yeah, so I'm on Facebook, Daryl Dennie for Judge. Obviously, I have a cell phone, 216-859-8590. Call, text, leave a message. I have an email address, Daryl Dennie, #4 Judge. So that's DARYL, #4, DARYL, DENNIE, #4 Judge, JUDGE @gmail.com. Reach out, I will respond. Ask me whatever questions you need, and obviously I'll appreciate any support I can get. So,
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything you say before we get out of here?
Nothing. No. Just thank you for having me,
All right.
and allowing me to use your platform. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. You'll keep using the platform. Point blank. Make sure that, like, you don't know. You just don't know yet. You will find out soon. So, the thing about it is, I like to say something before we leave tonight. And I understand that people are upset about certain situations and certain things. We are in Black History Month, no matter if it's President's Day, Valentine's Day, whatever. This is still Black History Month. So make sure that you study your Black history and make sure that you support African American people, period, point blank. If you are going out this weekend for Valentine's Day, just remember, be careful. Don't get caught up in no crazy situations, because President's Day is February 16th. And listen, nobody get into nothing crazy, because you're not going to see a judge till Tuesday, period, point blank, because it's a holiday. And that's number one. Number two, February 16th, if you are in the area, are the Godfather, DJ Johnny O. His birthday is falling on that particular Monday, February 16th, and we will have a celebration here at Nerve DJs. So if you come down, stop through 5100 St. Clair Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio. Club Style will be here, and we'll all be here. I'm gonna show up. Also, speaking of the Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl, it's the NBA All-Star Game. It's the USA Stars, USA Strikes versus the World. They're doing that 3-team tournament. Donovan Mitchell is an NBA All-Star. Shout out to him. Shout out to everybody that's going to be a part of the All-Star weekend. And it's in LA, so if you're down in LA, please be careful, period, point blank. If you're watching it from here, just make sure you watch it and just be mindful of whatever's going on. So Valentine's Day is this Saturday. Love, period. Love people, period. And I ain't got nothing else to say. So like I said, it's still Black History Month. Thank you for Daryl Dennie for coming down here. Thank y'all very much for tuning into this program. We are Black History. If nobody else touches that, they love you today. I do. And